Hello and welcome to the APW with Paul Draper today, who's coming to record a session, not for us, but he's got an absolutely amazing guitar because, you know, there's the Epiphone Casino in the music shop for 350 quid.
Yeah, it's not that one.
And it's not that one. You just plugged it in and strummed it, and it doesn't sound like that one. It sounds like the one on the records.
It does sound like the one on the records, yeah. I mean, I had an original 67 Casino, Epiphone Casino,
Yeah.
Which was great, but I couldn't take it out on the road because it was a bit too rickety, should we say. It wouldn't hold its tuning. And then Yoko Ono donated John Lennon's actual Casino back to Gibson at one point so they could make an exact replica. So this was his guitar as was in 1965. So if you go on YouTube now and look at the video for Paperback Writer, you'll see him playing that exact guitar. So
Wow.
Gibson, who bought the Epiphone brand, remade 1,965 versions of that guitar. So there's only 1,965 of them, and I've got number 897, which is a beauty.
It is.
It sounds 99.7 accurate to the original thing. When I bought this for playing live, because it's really stable, I A/B'd it against my original Casino, and there was definitely something beautiful about the old Casino. It could have just been age, or could have just been old strings, but this gives you more or less it. And I couldn't justify. I had 3 Casinos in that house by that point, so I couldn't justify out. So I'm now down to my main Casino, which is my jobbing Casino. I think the other 964 have been snapped up by Paul Weller. But it's a beautiful machine.
Yeah.
And it has a real Beatlesque tone.
I've got an idea in my head of what I think a Casino sounds like.
Yeah, if you plug it into an AC15, it's just the Beatles.
You're there,
It's Paperback Writer, it's Taxman, it's Revolution, it's all of that. But there's so many elements in the chain which I've been trying to piece together for years, through obsession with, Abbey Road recording equipment. Although someone said to me, he goes, I don't know why you're obsessed with all this stuff, because all that stuff was used on the Freddie and the Dreamers records, and no one wants to sound like Freddie and the Dreamers. But there might be someone out there, nothing against Freddie and the Dreamers, great band. Yeah, if you get a Casino, whack it into an AC30, we've got an AC15 here today. I don't have a U67, but I have a U87, which is obviously a transistor version. But they've reissued the 67 now, so I'm going to get rid of my 2 U87s, buy a 67. But that'll give you that's your closest mic for miking up a Beatle cab, or let's say an AC30. And then after that, you need a Chandler. Depending on which period Beatles you want, I would go for the Chandler Red Pre, which I have, which is incredible.
I mean, all of that stuff is important. You might not think about it, but
every element in the chain.
It's part of the cultural identity. It's what you grew up with listening to.
Yeah, it's like the amazing Motown records. And people will study them, like the Paul Epworths of the world, and get them amazing Amy Winehouse type records. You know what I mean? There's no point in recreating them exactly. You have to give them your own personality and a modern twist and what have you. But all the gear's there to be done now. It's very expensive to get that full Beatlesque sound, but I've just there's so many people out there, the Paul Wellers of the world, and the me's of the world, who are obsessed with it, and in the end, I just go with what I enjoy playing, and that's my favourite guitar to play. But later on, I think when you get to Abbey Road, the Beatles changed their mic pre's to TG pre's, which I got a pair of as well, which are phenomenal as well. Right. They're very similar to Neves, but with a fuzzier top end. But the Chandler Valve Red Pre with a U67, an AC30, and that monster that'll give you the guitar solo out of Taxman. Yeah. And if you Google my name and Paul McCartney's name, I did an interview with Paul McCartney where he talks about it, and it comes from the man himself, and he says Epiphone Casino through an AC30 is the world's greatest guitar sound. Yeah. Well, today, I mean, you're keeping the signal chain
so clean? Because it's you, a lead, and the guitar, and
I'm going au naturel, and this is because when we did the 2 tours, I took out a Black Star amp, the Artisan, which was great. Very similar to an AC30 for live, very rugged.
Yeah.
And I took that, and that was my main guitar. And I plugged it in, cranked it up, and I didn't even bother. I literally just had a tuner. And obviously you've got Ben over here, who's got his crazy world of pedals going on, who covers all his effects with his memory boy and his volume pedal and his, I don't think he's that complicated by today's standards, but I've been so complex over the years with my pedals and that I'm au naturel now. I'm guitar into an amp. So the Black Stars have gone back after the tour, so I brought my main recording amp, which I used on my album Spooky Action, which is this beautiful Fender Vibro Champ.
So it's
10 watts or 15. Someone correct me there. Bass and treble. Mic'd up with a 57, but in the studio I would maybe use a Sennheiser 421 or a U87.
So you do distance mic with a U87? Or
No. These are all the close mics, but I will distance mic everything with a Coles.
Nice.
With just
acoustic.
I'll just use basically a BBC Coles mic and put that in the room. I tend to do that with everything, so we've got a couple of sound sources, and then I'll just get the Coles and just mix it in slightly with the close mic, and that's pretty much on all the guitar parts of my album.
Right. Have you done anything to that amp?
Exactly bog standard.
Right.
Bought off eBay. Very cheap.
So is that a 70s model? Late 60s, early 70s?
Yeah, I'd say it's a 70s one.
Because they've done a reissue of the silverface, but it's not like an old silverface.
Yeah, it's an old one, and it's it's an underrated amp. You can still get them relatively cheap, I think. They're but they will go right up in value. I borrowed one off a collector and loved it straight away. It's I'm a big fan of Fender amps anyway. I have a deluxe and a twin and a basement, 4x10 basement. And I use an AC30 as well, so But I think this was the last one I got for my album. And I think the opening track, "Don't Poke the Bear," I think on my album, all the guitars are on that.
Nice.
And I think it's. I think I might be using my 72 Telecaster Deluxe. With that amp, and then again it would have been mic with a 57, and then just a Coles BBC ribbon mic just 2 foot behind, and then mix that in, and you can hear loads of room, and you can hear it in the guitar solo on that track. There's loads of room, but that's not a room plug-in. That's actually, the room.
Nice.
Yeah, I try and use as little plugins as possible, but I do use them. But always, when we get to a mix situation, we'll always fire stuff out, tape recorders, and like I've got a 4-track tape recorder that
nice.
We fire stuff out of, and then mic the 4-track up. And then mix that back in, but it's odd because the actual movement of the cassette tape, you have to line it up, so you've got to be careful with the phasing. But we do all sorts of stuff like that. We've got a tiny little Black Star amp that we fire stuff out of and distort it.
I think was that the one you bought?
Yeah, we took that across America.
Session? Oh, did you?
Yeah, we took that to America with us on the US tour. Ben used it, and tiny little battery thing, mic'd it up for a huge PA. All the in-house engineers loved it. They're all having their photograph taken of it. It's the best amp they'd ever seen.
With Ben Sink now, Paul Draper's erstwhile guitarist. So what we got? Fender Jaguars.
It's about a 90 Fender Jaguar.
Yeah.
Paul got... It's actually Paul's. I own a Mexican one, but this is US, and it does sound that bit better, so he lends me it for the live dates. Use mine as a backup.
Is this a Manson era Fender Jaguar?
I think that was the influence. I think he probably sold his old 60s ones and bought something a bit more reliable, but with
I'm a bit of a Jaguar novice. What do all the extra knobs do?
A bit like the pedals, it's all very much trial and error, but it's pick-up switches, and you can have none or all of them or both. I've just gone as twangy as possible.
Yeah, just
that's my
play with it until you get a twangy sound.
Yeah, it's all trial and error. And then when we were playing live, I knocked one of them, and it got completely cut out. And I had no idea why, and I was going guitar tech. But yeah, I've found a little diagram now. It's in one of my bags of what all the pickups do. But yeah.
And then you were going into your pedals here.
I used this super shifter.
Right.
And it's sort of just an octave up. And the idea is it sounds a bit 12-stringy.
Okay.
So Paul uses a lot of 12-string, and rather than carry a 12-string round, it just has the octave up.
So it's the nice polyphonic shift. Oh, cool.
But it does many other things, but sometimes I use it as a...
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Like a drop.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the 12-string type thing.
Nice.
And I've just started using this DD3.
Yeah.
As well as my memory boy, which is that sort of subtle, and that's obvious.
Right. So you've got this going into the tube screamer.
Into the tube screamer.
So you can distort the delay from that if you wish.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Like I say, it does often change, but
and then Big Muff.
And then the Big Muff.
Right.
And it's sort of by this point, if they're both on, it's very noisy, but sometimes beautiful.
Yeah. You've got to have that option to go insane if you really want to.
And I call these two at the end sort of like get out of jail cards. So they're quite often tiny bit of reverb, little spring reverb at the end, and a little bit of delay. But when you're not that good at guitar, about 15 delays, and it doesn't really matter anymore.
I suppose.
Loads of feedback from these lot.
Yeah.
A load of delays. Doesn't really matter what you play.
As long as you're somewhere in the right note.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, there's only 12. You can't really go wrong, can you? And then into an AC15.
Yeah, I got it 0% finance, like everything I buy.
Yay!
So it was... Must be about 7 or 8 years old, but we AB it against Paul's AC30, and when you're playing little venues, you don't need all that power.
Loud.
It's loud, and you don't have to turn it up so loud to get the character out of it.
Yeah.
Like you say, with the master volume as well, that helps. But
is that a blue speaker in the back? It's actually in blue, yeah. Because that's important. And they're a bit cleaner as well than the greenbacks as well. The greenbacks have a little fizz, which can be great or might not be what you're after.
Yeah, we've had a bit of an A-B-N session on this AC15, Paul's old AC30 with the 2 green speakers, and he's just got a new one. And like they're all horses for courses, but this is mine, and I sort of love it.
Got Beau Barnard, who takes care of Paul Draper's low end most of the time, with a very, very lovely bass guitar. New today, out of the box.
Pretty much.
On tick. And here it is, live in the studio. What is it? Go on, show us this, because this is... Well, I can't really describe.
It's my new baby. It's a Fender Precision, but it's a Custom Shop 62 Relic, so literally haven't really gigged it yet, and but I'm loving it. I'm very excited to play it and hear it recorded.
It's got such a growl. Is it louder? Is it got a punchier pickup than
I actually yesterday I just sort of took a screwdriver to it and set it up just how I like it, and the pickups are really powerful. I think they're just the sort of 62 Custom Shop pickup. But it's really powerful, and I've put some Labella flat wounds on there just to get that really punchy sort of old school vibe going.
It does that.
Yeah, it's great at that.
So where are we going out of the bass?
Out of the bass into my tuner. Compressors off. I really like this actually. This octave pedal. It's made by Freeleaf Audio. It does that sort of old school OC2 analog, beefy octave thing. And the really nice advantage of it is you can actually put the sub only on.
Okay, so you can take out the dry entirely.
Yeah,
nice.
And it's got loads of options there. Really recommend that actually.
And then for a bit more of an old schooly vibe, before you get to the amp, you've got this little box here. So what does this do?
That's made by Tech 21. It's kind of like the old Sans amp that everyone used to use, but it's been around for a few years. It's a VT bass, so it gives you that Ampeg sort of 8x10 sort of tone. So it gets really close actually.
That's a handy little box to have.
Yeah, especially when you turn up to gigs and you're not sure what the gear's going to be like or whatever. So it just gives you that tone.
Right, nice. And so you don't play through an SVT with an 8x10 cabinet. What's your amp of choice?
Well, today I've just got a small little Mark bass, but I don't often bring that out for gigs because it's tiny, but for these kind of sessions, it's quite useful, and it's great.
Yeah, it goes in the cabinet. I think Chris will mic that up with a Sennheiser MD421 for anyone. Yeah. But yeah, they're lovely crunchy microphones. Do you like those? And we've got a DI as well, so that'll go straight into the console. And so what about live?
At the moment, I'm using the big Aguilar head, which is I can't remember what it's called actually. It's a DB something. But yeah, it's the loudest head I've ever plugged into. It's just ridiculously powerful. So it's nice just knowing that you've got all that headroom.
Cool.
And the tone's amazing. Like every note has so much weight. So I'm loving using that. It's just pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And then for cabs, I'm using Barefaced cabs, who are a little Brighton-based company, but they're super light, and they're sort of. I use 2 of the 12-inch cabs, and they're so loud, and the tone is just awesome. And their customer service is like second to none.
Nice. Yeah. Check them out then.
So yeah, definitely worth checking them out.
Spot on. Thanks, Beau.
Nice one.
Cheers. Thank you.